Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper, and I'm a full-time reseller primarily on eBay, and I am making these research videos to teach you new items that you can look for when you're out thrifting or wherever you might be sourcing. And today we're going to go over vintage nightgowns. I find these regularly at Goodwill, at thrift stores, estate sales. They are all over the place and they typically are cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean a few dollars or less. And these I'm going to show you sell for $100 up to thousands for vintage nightgowns. So really excited to share this with you. Let's go ahead and get started. So when you're out sourcing at places like Goodwill, this is a category that is often overlooked, and I myself have just added it probably in about the past 6 months because I didn't realize how much money there was. So this first nightgown is a vintage Georgette Trabulsi lingerie peignoir nightgown. And you can see this one actually was still new with the tags, and it is a beautiful, beautiful pink silky nightgown, and it sold for $96.77. So there are some characteristics you're going to see throughout this video, and I want to say I was very surprised because a lot of these don't even put the name brand in the title. So I feel like keywording and appearance is a little more important when it comes to these nightgowns. So remember what they look like more so than the brand names. I would of course keep the brand names in mind, but again, a lot of these sellers didn't even put the brand name in the title. This next one is a vintage Gassard Artemis sheer pink nightgown, negligee, and robe set. So it was the two. They did not show a picture of the tag. You can see a really, really pretty pink here with the lace edging on the top. And this set sold for $115.99. All right, this next one is a brand that I know more because of the magazine than the actual brand. This one is a Vanity Fair. This is a 1950s pink Vanity Fair nightgown. You can see they kept a really, really simple title, didn't use many keywords, and it still sold for $135. Now, here's the tag up close. So this is one where if you did see it, you would be able to look up Vanity Fair and see that they can sell for high dollar. All right, this next one is something I kind of think of as a muumuu or a house coat, and I definitely do pay attention. I want you to look at these colors, and again, keep in mind the looks of these as much as you keep in mind the brands. This is a vintage 1970s multicolor satin floral maxi dress or gown. You can see really, really bright colors here, pink, purple, blues, and this one sold for $129. This is another one. There is no brand, there was no tag shown, so keep an eye out for ones that look like this. This next one is a branded one. This one is another house coat. So this is a vintage peony quilted dressing gown or robe. And this one sold for $120. Here you can see up close the tag showing that it is peony, so keep an eye out for these. All right, this next one is actually a brand that I have found and I have sold. Mine did not sell as high as this one. Mine sold for about $50 to $60, but I picked it up for $1 at the thrift store. So keep your eye out. I know they are out there. This is a vintage Van Raalte long nightgown, peach double nylon chiffon. This one sold for $145, and you can see here on the tag, very, very easy to read and very easy to identify. And again, I have found multiple of that brand at the thrift store. The big thing to watch out for at thrift stores, garage sales, is typically if they have one of these, they're gonna have more. So I always double check whenever I find one, because normally I find them in multiples. This next one is a vintage Sears. This one is a nylon nightgown sheer set. So this is another one where it's a nightgown and a robe. This one sold for $139.99. I absolutely love what the seller did here with the light shining through. Just makes this nightgown really, really pop. I probably would have used this as my front photo, but again, really good sale, and it is a vintage Sears. This next one I think is really, really pretty. And when I see all of these, I think of like my grandma and my mom, what they would have worn. I wear a t-shirt and leggings to bed. Not sure about you, but there are some people that still love to wear these. So this next one is a vintage periwinkle sheer chiffon purple baby doll peignoir robe and nightgown set. So another one that's a set, so watch for those. This one sold for $159.99. You can see here the seller did show the two pieces separately, and also here you can see on the tag it says Simbra, but keep in mind again that the seller did not use that brand in the title. So I think the look and the keywords are what are selling these nightgowns so high. All right, this next one I'm showing you because I want you to notice the look, because this one doesn't have a tag, and I, again, feel like if you find one, you're gonna find multiple. This is a 1930s antique vintage silk lace mint green. This one is the first one that was an auction. It did have 25 bids. It sold for $162.50. And I just wanted to show you up close here the beautiful, beautiful lace work. So keep your eye out for nightgowns that look like this. This next one is really pretty, and this baby doll style where they flare out is definitely present in these higher dollar selling nightgowns. So this one is a vintage orange Revel, and Revel is the brand. Full baby doll sheer chiffon peignoir robe nightgown. This set sold for $169.99. You can see here just how absolutely beautiful this is splayed out. Very impressive pictures by the seller, and you can see here the tag that states clearly that it is Revel. All right, we have another set. So baby doll dresses, nightgown and robe sets, they're bringing big money. This is a vintage designer salmon 4-layer sheet chiffon peignoir robe nightgown set. This one sold for $169.99. I just wanted to show you up close here how beautiful the lace is, and I think the lace on these is one of the things that definitely helps them to sell so high. So keep an eye out for very, very nice lace work on chiffon nightgown sets. Up next is another set and another chiffon. So this is a chiffon blush ivory nightgown set, beaded bodice. This one sold for $179.99, and beautiful, beautiful nightgown set. I do want to point out that most of these higher dollar, the photography is definitely on point. These sellers are probably specializing in nightgowns, so they are very, very good at making them appear beautiful. I think if I were to do a lot of nightgowns, I would probably buy a full-bodied mannequin. You can see here they splayed it out, so make sure you get good photos. If you come into a lot of nightgowns, I think it would be wise to invest in a full-bodied mannequin. Okay, we saw Sears, and we all know vintage Sears. This next one is from Montgomery Ward, so watch out for those department store brands that you probably wouldn't think of as high dollar. This one is a Montgomery Ward vintage peach lingerie nightgown set. It sold for $175. Here up close you can see the tag simply says Montgomery Ward hand wash, so keep your eye out for Montgomery Ward. Okay, this next one, they use themselves as the model. I personally do not recommend doing it, but it's still sold. It's still sold. And I actually did look at the seller's other items, and she does that frequently. Again, I think it is more professional to put them on a mannequin. And if you don't have one, perhaps flat lay. I don't know that I would take a picture of myself in a nightgown to try and sell it, but it works. So this is a vintage mod 60s Emilio Pucci. Baby doll mini nightgown, psychedelic. There's a good keyword, and it definitely describes this nightgown well. The blues, the purples, and here up close you can see the Emilio Pucci tag. And again, this one sold for $179. All right, this next one, I saw quite a few with this pattern, and it is a rainbow pattern, and it is a full skirt, so to say, nightgown. It is very, very wide and splayed. They definitely showed that in their first picture. So watch out for those nightgowns that have a little flare. This is a vintage rainbow pink, yellow aqua, full sheer chiffon over pink nylon nightgown. You can see the rainbow stripes on this one. And again, I saw quite a few that had this exact look selling this high. There was no brand on this, but this one sold for $189.99. All right, this next one is a really, really pretty one as well. Just hanging, they did it. I think it possibly could have got more if they showed that splay that other sellers have shown. This is a vintage Intimate California peignoir nightgown and robe set, light pink. They did put beautiful, and again, words like beautiful I think are kind of wasted space on these. I would have added lace to that. I would have maybe added tie because it does have the tie there in the front, but this one still sold for $190. This next one is a robe, and they call it a dressing gown, and there were quite a few keywords in these listings that I was not aware of, and I didn't even know what describe these nightgowns or robes. This is a 1940s Paulette feather novelty heart pocket satin vintage dressing gown. To me it just looks like a robe, but perhaps they are called dressing gowns. If you know more about this, definitely let us know down in the comments. This one sold for $190. This next one they call a peekaboo, and I'm not really sure why because I don't see any peekaboo about it, but it's a really, really pretty nightgown, and it sold for almost $200. This is a vintage 1950s carry-on peekaboo risque nightgown. Now you can see up close, it says risque, but to me these just look like ballerinas, so I did want to show you up close here what design that was. And then here you can also see the tag as well. So a great, great sale at almost $200. This next one is a slip dress or a nightgown. It is a brand I know from other high dollar videos. So the brand is Schiaparelli, and this one looks different than any that we have seen. This is a vintage Elsa Schiaparelli Paris gray black lace peignoir slip dress nightgown. This one sold for $185. Here you can see up close, it did have like a layer of lace over the actual fabric, and it is clearly marked Schiaparelli. All right, so we are carrying over that lace over fabric. They sell very, very well. This is a true vintage nightgown and robe peignoir set illusion black size small. This one sold for $180. There were no pictures of the tags. I do not know if it was even branded, so definitely remember this look. This next nightgown is absolutely beautiful. I hope it would catch your eye. It definitely would have caught mine, and it looks so fancy and just so kind of like upper class, I guess I could say. This is a vintage in time royal blue satin nightgown and the robe. This one sold for $189. Here you can see the tag. It does say In Time, and In Time was a brand that I saw over and over, so keep your eye out. But I would say if you find items that look like these, even if they aren't branded, I would definitely pick them up. This next one sold for almost $200. It is pretty plain, but it is a full sweep. So again, those full sweeps definitely sell very well. I personally have seen this brand. This is Miss Elaine, and this is a double chiffon nightgown, full sweep, lace sheer lingerie. You can see they held the skirt out just to show that full sweep, and this one sold for $199. Up next, this seller takes absolutely amazing pictures, and I want to point that out because In order to get top dollar, a lot of times the pictures can be what sells the item. Not always if you have a rare item, as we have seen in some of the high dollar, some pretty poor pictures, but this seller takes absolutely amazing pictures. This is a dreamy vintage two-piece Tuscan chiffon. This one was an auction. It got 22 bids, sold for $199.50. Just shy of that $200 mark. Here is another close-up of the seller's pictures. Just absolutely beautiful, beautiful lighting on them. And here you can see the tag saying Tuscan. So keep an eye out for this brand. The next one is another really pretty one. So that definitely is a theme that is running throughout. These are just simply pretty, pretty nightgowns. This is a vintage Saks Odette Barca ivory with tulip nightgown. This one sold at $200. Here up close, you can see the tulips, beautiful, beautiful applique. And here's the tag showing it clearly states Odette. All right, we are getting a little higher. Now we are over $200. This next one says designer, but it doesn't name a brand. This is a designer golden yellow 4 layers. So keep in mind, it seems the more layers, the more money. 4-layer sheer chiffon robe and nightgown. So another set. This one sold for $229. Here it is up close. Just absolutely beautiful, beautiful sheer robe and nightgown. Pretty, sheer, full sweep, and lace. And this next one has a lot of lace. This is a vintage 3X Janelle blue sheer chiffon peignoir robe nightgown negligee with lace. This one sold for $229.99. Here you can see the two separated. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful nightgown. Here is the tag stating Janelle, and this one again $229.99. I do want to point out with that one, it was a 3X, and a lot of times if you find the larger sizes, you can get quite a bit more for the same piece that you would be able to if it were small. There are all varying sizes in this video, so definitely all sizes will sell high, but keep in mind if you find the larger sizes, you can probably get a little bit more than what the smaller ones will sell for because they are a little bit more rare. This next one I wanted to show you, I wasn't really familiar, and it's very, very plain, but if you happen to come across some vintage or antique clothing, whether it be at the thrift store or an estate sale, take a closer look. This is just a plain, it says antique Edwardian cotton nightgown puff sleeves, so watch for the puff sleeves, maxi ribbon lace. This one sold for $225. Again, it's not branded because it is antique. Here it is up close. I just want to show you, very, very simple, white cotton, very plain, can still sell for high dollar. All right, we have another one with tons of lace, and it was another auction. This is a vintage 1940s dress pink satin lace. This one had 15 bids, sold for $224.72. Here you can see up close, just absolutely beautiful lace work. And I will tell you guys too, a lot of these that sold high had flaws and imperfections. I saw quite a few pictures with holes. So don't toss out the idea of picking up these nightgowns just because they have some flaws. Next, this brand was all over the high dollar nightgowns, and I did not know this brand before I made this research video. This one is a vintage Olga peignoir nightgown and robe set. This was an auction, got 11 bids, and sold for $242.50. Here you can see up close, again, beautiful, beautiful lace work, so keep your eye out for that. All right, this next one has flaws. It has a hole. I'm going to show you a picture of the hole, and it's still sold for $275. This is not branded. This is a vintage 1940s white chenille robe and dressing gown. Beautiful, beautiful robe, sold for $275. Here you can see on the underarm there is clearly a hole, so you would just want to show the flaws if you found one of these that had holes or stains or something like that, but I wouldn't skip picking them up. All right, I'm going to show you quite a few Olga because there are different styles And again, this name is all over the high dollar. So this is an Olga Rare bridal snow white nightgown. And I feel like the bridal is kind of up to the seller's discretion. So if you've got white and lace, you definitely could probably throw the word bridal in there. This one sold for $299. Great sale. And with the Olgas, they do have tags, and you can see here this one was a small. So if you happen to find this set in a large or extra large, probably would sell for quite a bit more. This next one I'm showing you for multiple reasons. And one of them is eBay is a great place to sell, but it also can be a good place to source. I personally do not use eBay for sourcing like on a regular basis. I have used it in the past. I have so much stuff already. So this is an auction, and it is more than one. So this is vintage 50s and 60s women's lingerie lot, lace robes. This one got 38 bids and sold for $306. Now, the buyer of this very well could have been a reseller and thought they could get $200 per nightgown, and they would have still made about a $400 or $500 profit after fees. So don't discount eBay for sourcing. Here you can see them up close. Beautiful sheer nightgowns. So if you have the time and want to search, you might want to search for some nightgown lots on eBay. And on the flip side, if you don't want to list them individual, you're not sure what they'll sell for, you could put them in groupings like this of 3 to 5, put them on auction and let the buyers decide. The first we are seeing from this designer, and it is another name that was all over the high dollar. This is a vintage rare medium Lucy Ann spring green chiffon pom-pom robe and nightgown set, and it sold for $349.99. Here on the tag you can see it is very clear, so if you were to find this you would easily be able to look it up.
Hey.
Dalton has been in here playing with me. Are you playing with Pig?
Yeah, I was.
The cat is in here and is playing with Dalton. So if you don't know, Dalton is the reason that I do this, so that I can be home with him. And we do have our shirts. Do we have our shirts with our picture on them? Tell them they can buy one and we'll put the link.
Let them buy one and put the link.
Very good. He's getting better at telling you guys things. So here's a picture of the shirt with Dalton and myself on it, and you can purchase them on my bonfire campaign. I will link that in the comments below. Up next, this one is super cool. This is a vintage 1970s. This one is Emilio Pucci nighty peignoir form fit. So this one is not the full sweep. It is a form fit, tighter fitting. This one is a size large. It sold for $385. Here is the tag. It does say Emilio Pucci and it does say form fit. So that is the actual model of this nightgown, and this was an absolutely amazing sale. All right, here's some more Lucy Ann, and this designer makes amazing nightgowns, very beautiful pieces, definitely stand out above the crowd. This is a Lucy Ann ocean chiffon robe with marabou nightgown. It has rhinestones, so if you see a nightgown with rhinestones, definitely check it out. This one sold for $399, and here you can see these up close. They are very beautiful. And just look at the puffs. They've got the rhinestones where it connects in the middle there. And here's the tag. So again, very easy to read, showing Lucy Ann. This is a size 34. All right, this next one is another Emilio Pucci, but it looks completely different. So this is an Emilio Pucci robe nightgown. You can see pink, really long. It is another form fit. This one is a size small, and it sold for $475. Again, here up close you can see Emilio Pucci. You can see it says for form fit, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Up next is another Lucy Ann, and this one sold for over $600. Again, pay attention to the seller's photos. This is a Lucy Ann vintage nylon satin banded. This was actually another lot of 11 nightgowns sold for $600. So they got an average of about $50, $50 to $55 per nightgown. So this is another one. You're seeing some Lucy Anns that are selling individually for hundreds of dollars. So as a reseller, you very possibly could have bought this lot and still made a pretty good profit. But as a seller, if you want to get rid of them faster, you can lot them up. Now, I would say absolutely beautiful picture showing the full sweep. But if it's me, I want that first photo to show all 11 nightgowns so people know exactly what they are buying. All right, I know absolutely nothing about antique clothes, but now that I've done this video, if I see clothing that looks like this, and I feel like these would probably be more your estate sale type items, I'm definitely gonna look a little closer. This is a French Edwardian white cotton nightgown. So another one, just plain cotton. This one is a size large. It sold for $620. Here up close, I just wanted to show you the detail and the pleating on this. Absolutely beautiful piece, and that was a really, really great sale. Now, this next one's pretty cool. It's from the 1800s, and I put this in because I have found quite a few items that have a note attached. So if you see a note attached or something in the pocket that could date the item and give some history, check it out, and I'm going to show you what the seller wrote. So this is an 1817 Empire period ladies blue and white stripe. This is a summer gown, so it's not a nightgown, but I really felt like I needed to share this with you guys because I feel like it's something we could easily overlook. This one sold for $1,200. Now, I want to show you this. Look at the rips and tears on this dress, but it is over 100 years old, and I do not feel that that is something that isn't necessarily going to be common. So people are going to expect some rips and tears. You would do just as the seller did, show those rips and tears. And here is part of the seller's description. It says, attached was a written note with the date of 1817 and the owner. As much provenance as I have will be provided to the successful bidder. More from this estate this week. So they are telling the buyer that the date 1817 was on this dress. And again, it sold for $1,200. X is a name we know. Watch out for items that might feel cheap or feel fake, because there probably are fakes out there. This is a Christian Dior. This is a Christian Dior silk vintage nightgown, US size 8, French size 40, sold for $1,400. Here you can see Christian Dior Paris, and the interesting thing is you see the red X on there. So at my thrift store, they put red marks through boutique items that cost a little bit more, and very clearly you can see the red X on this tag. So this very, very likely was from a thrift store. All right, we are up to the highest item. I hope you have enjoyed this kind of deep dive with me into nightgowns. This is a 1910s antique prairie wabash indigo calico workwear chore dress. So another one that is over 100 years old. It sold for $1,910. So watch for these antique ones. If they look really old, I would definitely inspect them a little more. If they are cheap, I would pick them up. I say that because if they are cheap and you put them on auction and put good photos, these collectors will find them and they will bid on them. And if you only paid $1 or $2, start it at 20 or 40 or 50, wherever you think it should be, let it go. Let people fight over it. And even if it only gets one bid for $40, you only paid $1. So you still made a really, really good profit on it. I hope these research videos have been helpful for you. I definitely have fun making them and learning a little bit more. Happy Friday to you. I hope you have an absolutely amazing weekend. We will be doing another what sold video on Monday, and all of our videos come out at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am live in the chat to chat with you, so to those of you who have been hanging out with me in the premiere, thank you so much. Don't forget, again, the shirt of me and Dalton saying it will fit is only available to order for 2 weeks, so definitely go and get one of those if you want. There are different styles. There are t-shirts, there are women's form-fitted, there are tank tops, there are sweatshirts, tons of different ones. I also have some really cool tote bags with the same design, so definitely go over and check those out. I appreciate you watching. We will see you next week. I remembered to send a newsletter out today, so hopefully you are a member of my email list. If you're not, you can join it at thenurseflipper.com. You get a free list of shipping supplies when you sign up, and I am going to try and send out every Friday a newsletter. So I hope you will join my newsletter. I hope those of you that got it enjoyed it. We will see you on Monday with a what sold. Have a really, really good weekend. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.